In this video, I will discuss why America should annex Cuba and pursue regime change by declaring decisive action south of the border, and why such a campaign is imminent and strategically essential. A coherent America First foreign policy must firmly reject unwinnable, geographically distant conflicts that drain American resources without delivering decisive security gains. Iran poses no direct conventional threat to the United States. Its missile and drone arsenals cannot reach American shores. It is not a core enemy in any existential sense, and sustained military engagement there would prove costly and inconclusive on hostile terrain where diplomacy and targeted economic pressure offer far more economical alternatives. The same principle applies to open-ended commitments in Europe or the broader Middle East that defend nations not aligned with core American interests. Resources committed to these theaters inevitably subtract from the truly decisive arena, securing America's own hemisphere against rivals who are already advancing much closer to home. China and Russia have long recognized that proximity determines strategic outcomes. They actively leverage allies and proxies such as Venezuela and Cuba to threaten the United States from nearby positions, establishing anti-access zones and intelligence footholds right along America's southern flank. Beijing is systematically buying ports and forging deep trade relationships throughout the Caribbean and South America, laying the groundwork for global conflict scenarios that would deter Washington from supporting Taiwan or projecting power elsewhere. In response, an aggressive America First approach defines its primary mission as consolidating a secure and prosperous periphery. This includes treating Greenland as a vital Arctic choke point and resource node, addressing Canada's current instabilities through targeted intervention to manage mass migration, extract critical raw materials, and fortify the northern border rather than wasting effort in the Middle East, and extending influence across Mexico, Venezuela, Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, and the Caribbean. Such a focused sphere of influence would secure energy supplies, critical minerals, and trade routes essential for long-term American prosperity, far outweighing the marginal benefits of distant interventions. Cuba represents the clearest and most immediate linchpin in this hemispheric reorientation. Positioned just 90 miles from Florida, it remains a failed ideological outpost that serves as a persistent vector for migration, intelligence threats, and potential adversarial basing. Regime change in Havana, followed by annexation or full integration into a U.S.-led economic and security framework, would neutralize this chronic vulnerability, transform the island's strategic geography into a forward American asset for maritime dominance, and open it to capital investment, infrastructure development, and resource utilization that directly benefits the homeland. Israel's approach provides a compelling analogy. Facing existential pressures from hostile neighbors, it has pursued expansionist territorial ambitions and buffer zones in the West Bank, Gaza, southern Lebanon, and Syria to project power and ensure survival. The United States should adopt a similarly ambitious and focused vision in its own neighborhood, rather than subsidizing others while neglecting its front yard. This means building a concentrated sphere of influence in North and South America, specifically targeting Canada, Mexico, Venezuela, Cuba, and the Caribbean, and implementing an ambitious program where Canada, Cuba, and Mexico are integrated into a tightly bound U.S.-centric economic sphere, transforming the Caribbean into a prosperous, safe, and stable periphery for the American empire. Military and economic efforts currently dispersed across irrelevant global theaters must instead concentrate on the southern front. The U.S. should stop defending Europe and Middle Eastern nations that do not serve American interests and redirect those resources toward the homeland, specifically targeting threats in Mexico, Cuba, and Venezuela to stop drug trafficking and secure the border. Threats emanating from these areas, ranging from powerful cartels flooding the homeland with fentanyl to broader instability enabled by adversarial alignments, demand direct action to dismantle trafficking networks, secure borders, and establish control over vital approaches. By intervening in these regions to extract raw materials, address migration drivers, and secure trade routes, the United States would foster greater national prosperity and stability at home. Stabilizing the Northern Triangle in Mexico through necessary intervention would solve illegal immigration at its source and create safe zones for American investment, while denying China and Russia the forward positions they seek. This hemispheric defense strategy prioritizes domestic interests and immediate geographical periphery, forging a more assertive foreign policy that better serves American needs and protects against rivals like China and Russia. In conclusion, annexing Cuba and pursuing regime change through decisive action south of the border is not optional, but an urgent imperative of strategic realism. By prioritizing the Western Hemisphere over distant conflicts, America can secure its periphery, deter great power rivals, and refocus national power where it truly matters, ensuring enduring strength and prosperity at home.